Good morning, everyone. This is Understanding Money. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. I'm your host today. Joining me live here is my sister-in-law business partner and my colleague, Lynda V Harris, who is also a financial planner. Lynda V Harris, how you doing?
Good morning, good morning. As you can see, I am wearing my mask because I think we're socially distant here.
Yeah,
I believe we are.
you're around me all the time. I think you kind of
And I just got
immune.
my negative results. I
That's
took my test a second time, but I'm wearing it because this thing is serious. I lost a friend this week on Monday, and he was one of those gentlemen, Robert, that didn't want to wear a mask. He actually
Oh.
refused to wear a mask, and we lost him.
So when you say refuse to wear a mask, let me guess, was he a Republican?
Yes.
That's amazing how his
Yes,
party
but
line.
it's so politicized.
It's crazy.
I didn't even want to. Yes, he was. But stop politicizing this. We
Well, I
lost
just
him,
asked you. I just took a guess. You say he didn't wear a mask. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, let me think. Is he Republican?
which is so sad. Don't you find that sad?
That's crazy to me.
To
I really,
politicize a pandemic.
I don't understand
And
that.
so I just came on with the mask. Just please, everybody, wear them. It saves lives. It is serious. This thing is serious. So, good morning. I'm Lynda V Harris, Vice President of the Henderson Financial Group. I am a certified financial advisor. No, I'm not certified.
You are whatever you want to be. You the queen. Hey, it's your story. It's your story. You can tell. You can tell. You writing it. You can say anything you want to be.
Well, no, I cannot lie. What I'm not going to be is a liar.
Okay. I
Right,
like that.
financial advisor, vice president. It's just been quite a week for me. It really, really has.
Yes.
But I'm glad I'm here. We're healthy. I have a roof over my head. I have my brother-in-law next to me, and life is good.
The best brother-in-law.
My best brother-in-law.
Yes.
We just have to stay vigilant, ladies and gentlemen, and please wear your mask.
And today we're going to talk about probably three different topics. Lynda talked to me last night and she said, let's talk about the elderly. And because a lot of us are getting to that age and we have to take care of our elderly parents. So
Hey,
we want to
speak for
address that.
yourself.
Okay, we want to address that. Second thing we want to talk about, I want to recap also last week we talked about your family bank, how you can how you can actually use your money twice. And a lot of people are confused by that. We have some people that get it right off, but that's okay. We're going to break it down to you like a 6-year-old. And then we're going to talk about a topic that you mentioned to me last night, Lynda, when she talked about there's a lot of people that are really, really taken serious since this COVID-19 is happening, especially the teachers. They're having to beat in the beeline trying to get wills and trusts set up because they feel that they have to go back as teachers. Then it's a possibility that they could die. So they want to get their financial situation set up with wills and trusts. We talked about that. So we'll recap a little bit about wills and trusts.
Okay.
We'll recap a little bit about your family bank.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about what else?
The elderly and
The elderly, right.
And I think for me, we're living it in my family. A lot of people, especially depending on the culture and the ethnicity, when you have an aging parent, Robert,
Which I do.
so do I. We don't. Is there such a thing as planning for their later years, or do we just handle it? Do we just make it happen? Do we just do what we have to do? Sometimes the aging parents don't want to go to that home. Culturally, people of color, black people, we don't like putting our older loved ones in a home in the ACLF. Somebody has to live with Big Mama. Hopefully it's not the brother or nephew that's not working and just living off of her. Big Mama is on a fixed income. She can't really pay the mortgage or the taxes now or the maintenance of the house. So you just handle it. She can't get up and down the steps. How do we make sure that older person who's 80, 85, going up into 90, live a quality life because they don't want to go to that home?
Well, under you said it. It's called planning. You know, if you don't plan, then you're going to fail because it's coming. You follow me?
Yes.
So it's about planning. That's who we are. I'm a certified financial planner. Been in the business for over 30 years.
Yep.
And a certified tax coach. Right, I became a certified tax coach because the more money I made, the more taxes I had to pay, and I knew that there was something else out there that I just did not know. I had a CPA, but with that CPA, I wind up paying more than $1.5 million in taxes. And I know that, the people that make the rules, Congress, they're
Right.
making a whole lot of money. And I know they got an antidote, something to curtail those taxes. And
Absolutely.
she was just saying, okay, you make this, you pay that. I knew there's always
missing something.
Come on,
Something was
right. They keep the good stuff in the back room, And I wanted that. I wanted the good information. So I knew there was something. But she was straight up. She says, hey, Robert, we just, do debits and credits, and you make this amount of money. You have this basic deductions, and that's it. And I knew that was not true, because there's people that's making a whole lot more money. And I always go back to, listen, if you're the king, you make the rules, you more than likely you making the rules to satisfy and benefit you
Right.
and your colleagues.
Right.
Okay, so I know that in the world of the U.S., the tax code, believe it or not, the tax code, 99% of that 72,000 page book with no pictures in it tells you exactly how not to pay taxes. Let me repeat that. The U.S. tax code, the strategy in there, it's like reading a manual, which nobody wants to read a 73,000 page book, let alone a 300 page book.
Right.
But there's secrets and strategies in there. So the rich hire someone to read it. If you're really interested, you start studying taxes, because if you're going to plan on making money, you got to know how to navigate and keep your money. It's not always what you make, it's what you keep.
what
all
you
right?
keep. Right.
So that's why I became a certified tax coach, right along with being a certified financial planner, So, Lynda, you talked about planning. You have to plan. If you don't plan, then you plan to fail. There's no other way around
I
it.
agree. Or you find yourself in hustle mode constantly. You find yourself just handling it, but that's always you're always in a state of emergency.
A reaction.
Yes.
You're reacting.
Absolutely.
Right. You're not proactive. You're reacting.
That adds stress to you, stress to the family. So you absolutely want to find out what that older person's, how much does it cost for them to live monthly, comfortably? What's that number? And you have to make sure that you can meet that number.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To pay the taxes, to pay the maintenance on the house, to have someone come in and clean, and if necessary, cook, and outings, and it's so important. And so you don't want to find yourself in, we just got to make it work, or we just got to handle it. How do you plan? What does that look like to plan for that elderly person's quality of life? Is there someone that can live with that person who's responsible? Who's going to handle the money? Who's going to make sure the cable bill is paid and the light bill is paid? How is that done? Who's on that bank account? Is there a TOD? Don't find yourself just handling it.
Reacting, in other words.
Reacting.
And most people react. Most people, their whole life, they react.
Yeah.
Rather than being proactive and planning. Like my mother is 82 years old. Okay.
God bless her.
God bless her.
Absolutely.
She's so shocked that she's still alive, because her mother died at 63. She definitely didn't think that she was going to still be around, but she is.
Right.
And she's trying to live to 93, 103. And, believe it or not, I mean, she's really a religious person. Mm-hmm. She's a Jehovah's Witness. I wasn't raised up a Jehovah's Witness. I was raised up a Baptist, but my sister got her into being a Jehovah's Witness about 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's fine with me, because she's happy, and it, gives her something,
And you don't have to buy Christmas gifts.
Yeah,
or
that's good
birthday
too.
Gifts.
Yeah, I just bought her a car though, but that's a side.
Oh.
But anyway, my mom, about 20 years ago, I moved her into a gated community.
Okay.
And the gated community was my old home that I left.
Okay.
And I was planning, because I knew that, as I got older, as she got older, I wanted to have her in a safe neighborhood.
Okay, so
now,
that was the first thing you planned, and you...
It was totally planning.
Good deal.
I was planning that, okay? And I knew that, but then I was putting things in order. So if you don't plan and strategy, especially if you feel that your mom or father is going to get older, which they are, every day we're getting older.
God willing.
You have to
Absolutely.
lay out a plan, okay? So, because it affects you. It affects everybody. When Big Mama or Big Papa is having problems, it affects everybody.
It really does.
It does. It's a rippling effect.
It does.
So if you can bury your head in the sand, or you could be someone who is known for not taking care of their elderly parents.
Oh, and that's a special
That's a
place
shame.
for that. That's not good. And with age comes challenges. They don't move as fast. You know what I mean? Things happen. Accidents happen. They don't recover from injuries that quick. So who knows where the doctors, who's taking them to the doctor, who's making sure they take their medication. Those things are very, very important, Robert. And like you said, you don't want to be one of those children
Yeah.
that don't have the answers to everything we just said. So start planning now. You want them to have a quality of life. That is the best love letter you can write to your mom or father or older person.
Yes.
Is that we got you. We know exactly what we're going to do, who's going to be there for you. God willing, you want them to get older, but you want them to get older with dignity and grace and not having to beg and not worrying. You know, they did so much, most of them did so much for you growing up. And so you gotta pay them back.
Well, one strategy right now for anyone who is in their 20s or 30s and your parents are 50s and 60s or whatever,
Right.
you might want to ask them, do they have a long-term care policy?
Absolutely.
Okay, or do they have a life insurance with living benefits?
Okay.
And if they say no, and then you might want to say, hey, let's have a conversation, because if you're planning on living, I mean, if you yourself, the youngster, you're not flowing with dough, have a whole lot of money, then you got to tell them, listen, you got to be responsible, mom, dad. Let's put something in place, because right now at 60 years old, it's not as expensive as trying to get a plan at 80 or 90 years old. It costs more when you're older. So youngster, whoever watching this, if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, and your parents are, in your 50s, 60s, or you should really talk to them about, have the conversation about elderly strategy. And if you don't know how to have the conversation, all you got to do is call our office. And we got a fantastic plan to help you, a cost-effective plan, a plan where you actually can put money into a plan. And it's not one of those plans, if you don't use it, you lose it. I hate those plans.
Right.
This is a plan where it's actually a savings strategy, where you're actually saving your money. And if you don't need it, you don't need to use the long-term care provisions in it. Guess what? All the money that you save is getting compound interest and growing, and you also have access to it. So that, I think that's fantastic. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
You have a savings plan. You can't do that in a checking account.
No.
You can't do that in a bank account. But if you have some plan where you can actually put into that plan, you can actually be the owner of that plan, but it's the beneficiary, and insured is your parents, then, hey, man, if something happens to them, you can get benefits right away. A nursing home, people to come into the house, help them bathe, especially if you don't have time to do it. But you got to be proactive.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're 60 years old and you're looking around and you have kids, your kids are having it rough, then shame on you. I mean, you got to be proactive too. You got to start saying, okay, I don't want to have pity. I don't want them to just put me away. So why don't I put something in place for myself? If you're 50, 65 years old, there's still time for you. Once you become 75 and 80 and 90 years old, it's a bit more expensive, I'm telling you.
Right.
So it's still not too late for you to plan. Because let me tell you something. Each elderly parent is totally different. You have something that is very cooperative. There's some that's extremely stubborn. There's some that they're older, and I don't care if you're 50 years old, 40, you still little Junior or little Sandra.
I'm afraid of my mother right now. I'm still afraid of my mother.
Your mom tough. Your mom don't play.
She's a tough one.
Oh my God. I know. I've been around. She don't play the radio. I mean, oh my goodness. She was like, get out of my house. I mean, my mother is I would say my mother has a loving heart. But I feel my mother makes sure that her 3 children, myself and my 2 sisters, she says that she gave her life for us, and now it's our turn.
And how can you argue with that?
You can't.
You can't.
No.
You can't. I've had some of my friends build an extra wing or room onto their home to have mother live with them. I've had some of my friends that rotate, and you live with mom half of the year, and I'll fly her to New York, and then you take care of her. So I've had some of them just react. Some say, you send me money and I'll live with her. And then you get the part where, you still have your life.
Yes.
Me, I'm getting married again and I'm still dating. And so I may be, spending the night out once in a while. So, and then you have some of them that, like, you and my sister, you have a family, you have children there. Even though you have room and you have love in your heart, very often parents don't want to impose. So plan for this. You want them to get older, number one. If you're blessed enough, they will get older. And so you want to be around to have those memories and make them great, great, great grandparents. But you want to plan for it because you don't want that quality of life to be substandard.
Yes. Yes.
So
I see Dorothy
do it.
joining us. Hey, I see June is there and Michael Jenkins. Yes, I'm glad you guys are tuning in. And as we get older, everyone,
Yeah.
no one is going to escape what we're talking about, elderly. Either you're going to get old, or your parents are going to get old, or your uncle or cousin or someone that's going to be looking for your assistance. They're going to need help. So you can start planning now. And like I
Please
said,
do.
if they're 80, 90 years old, like I just had a call from a friend last night, and he says, Robert, my grandmother is 90 years old, and she have a home that's paid off.
Okay.
And she actually said that she said her goals is what she wants to do when she makes her transition, when she passed from this world, she wants to leave that home to her grandkids.
Oh.
So they was trying to find out what type of instrument do you use. A will? No, because you have to go through probate.
Right.
Remember we talked last week.
Absolutely.
If you have a will, which is so antiquated, you're not going to find a lot of attorneys that are volunteering to tell you more about a trust, because it's so simple to do a will for them and they get paid. It's a little bit more homework for them, a little bit more stretch, a little bit more documentation for them to do a trust. But since you're looking at this show, you say, no, I want to do a trust so I can avoid probate, I can avoid court costs, I can avoid all of this stuff. You follow me? That's really what you do, what you want to happen. So he said she's 90 years old, she wants to pass this property on. He said, should I quit claiming in my name? I say, well, if you quit claiming in your name, your grandmother's going to lose her homestead exemption, which means now it's in your name.
Right.
And if the house is worth $300,000-400,000 or greater, those taxes next year are going to zoom up because they're in your name.
Right.
How to curtail that is and eliminate that, what you do is keep it in your grandmother's name, but let's set up a living trust. A living trust says, upon my death, this is what I want to happen to my property. It avoids, you have an attorney set it up one time, but after that, there's no more court costs, there's no probate, there's no problems. And whoever she leaves the property to, it's etched in stone. There's no contention. You don't get a court. Somebody don't fight and say, she should have gave it to me.
Tearing the family apart.
None of that.
Yeah.
So that way, and plus when she does a living trust, she can say, hey, I want my grandson to get this, I want my granddaughter to get this. Matter of fact, I want the grandson, my great-grandson, to get $50,000 upon graduation from high school. You know, so
Dictating from the grave.
she can dictate from the grave. She can actually put provisions in there to say how much I want them to get, and she'll be dead. I mean, she'll be in heaven, so to speak. So she can have the property sold upon her death, and proceeds put into an investment account, and she can name what kind of account that she wants, and she can say who she wants managing it. So that's really good. That's planning, and I got to take my hat off on my friend because he's actually being proactive and not reactive.
And not just saying, what do we do? How do we handle it?
Yes.
So give us a call, Henderson Financial Group, 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. God willing, you want them to age with dignity and a great quality of life. We have solutions. We not only are we're telling you what we heard, we're telling you what we know, and what we're doing right now with our loved ones. So we want to share the information, and we want to make sure that we pass on the knowledge.
Yes.
305-825-1444. And that was definitely something I'm living right now. And
I mean,
you are.
we're living this stuff. I see
Yeah.
Curtis Keckler out there, Pamela Sylvain. I see Erica Owens. I see you out there. Hey, what we would like you all to do is share this content with everybody else, your friends that's in your book. So hit share and share for your other friends so they'll know that, hey, on Saturdays you can get some fantastic, life-changing,
Yeah.
real, not theoretically, but real life-changing ideas and strategies from the Henderson Financial Group. Our show, Understanding Money. It comes on every Saturday. As a matter of fact, you can go back and log into our website, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup, and you can catch some of our previous shows also. Lynda and I have been in this business for a very long time. I've been in this business for over 35 years. We love what we do. We're not here from 9 to 5. We'll do a Zoom call with you. We'll do a go-to-meeting call with you. Oftentimes we're here till 8:30 at night. Most of you all know that. We work every day but Sunday. Okay, now today, if you want to talk about and discuss anything that we're going to be talking about today, call us on Monday, because we're upstairs. We created our own studio upstairs here in our office. So we really like this setup. We're going to be doing more than this. We're also on YouTube. We YouTube Live. Isaac here is filming that, so you can look at us, catch us on YouTube also. And like I said, you can always come back and look at some of our past shows. Now, I know you was talking about the elderly because you're going through it. I'm going through it with my mother.
Yeah.
And my mother goes in spurts. Sometimes, she'll all of a sudden, she'll call the ambulance, she'll call a doctor and say, like a mosquito bite, I mean, she just.
You can't ignore it because
No.
you don't know what's an emergency,
Right.
what's not. Yeah.
And I know she, at the time that, especially during this COVID time, they living
my
alone.
God.
They can't go out like they normally. Even though I bought her a car last year, she can't drive it, So she's having food brought to her, so we make sure she's okay.
Good
But
deal.
anxiety comes in,
Absolutely.
So now
Loneliness.
she wants attention. So I understand that. I'm glad when this stuff is over, And that's real talk. I mean, and some of you all may be experiencing it also.
So
Man.
give us a call. Let's talk it through. There are ways you can mitigate this. We can talk about planning for it. 305-825-1444.
Yes. Now, I want to recap
Okay.
what we talked about last week, your family bank. I want you all to understand it's not really a bank. You create it. We help you set it up. It's really a savings account, okay? And it's actually backed by insurance, okay? That's what makes it so, I would say, 3 components. It's liquid. Liquid meaning you can get your hands on it. It's not like you got to wait 30 years or you got to wait 3 years to get your hands on it. Whatever you put into it, 10 days later, you can take out 95%. Oh, I should say not take out, but you can barter. In other words, you can leverage off that, which is very, very good. So it's a strategy. You can use your money twice.
Got it.
Okay. And we really love it. Okay. It also gives you protection in case unforeseen contingencies still arise. Like, hey, going to heaven and not knowing it, then at least there'll be a pile of tax-free money that's there for you. Okay. Plus, it gives you control. And when we set up, and we're doing this for a whole lot of people, when we're setting up your family bank, the whole concept is compound interest, using your money twice. Think about it. The system that we've been taught. It teaches 95% of us. It teaches all of us how we should save money, earn money any way we can.
Right.
And once we save it and earn it, if we have to use it, withdraw it out.
Right.
And that's just basic, right?
Right.
I mean, if you save up $10,000, all of a sudden you need to,
$10,000?
you got to get a motor in your car or your carburetor, generator, whatever happened with your car.
Then take it out.
You withdraw it out.
Right.
That's what savings is for, right? No. Let me tell you something. The rich don't do that. The rich put money into this savings account.
Gotcha.
They never actually withdraw the money out. They put more money. That's what we call it your bank. You always have money in there. So you might say, Robert, if I'm putting money in this account, when can I use it? Hey, you can use it as soon as you put $1,000 in there. Once we set up the ACH and set up everything, in 10 days, you can you can use, I got to be careful with this because I got to give you the concept. Let's say you put $1,000 in this account.
Okay.
And you say, I need $900.
Okay.
After we set up for the first time, after that, it only takes 3 days to get to your account. So you put $1,000 in this account. Now you need $900 for a bill. Normally, what we would do is we would withdraw, drain the tank. We would take out $900, would leave us $100 in that account, and we're going to pay what we have to pay. No, that is the old-fashioned way. That's how all of us been taught. That's not how the rich do it. And there are tax codes, laws. And when I say that 73,000-page book, that strategy has been in there for a very long time. Why you don't know? Because you haven't read a 73,000-page book with no pictures. Because you're not a nerd.
But now you know someone who has.
Yes, because I'm going to tell you something. I love my money. I work too hard. When I listen, I say, man, you got to have economic power. If you're going to be black in America, being black and poor in America, ooh, my God. My God, my God. And I don't care. Let me tell you something. Being black and poor in America is awful. They discriminate against you. Even other black people discriminate against you.
Black,
Everybody
poor,
discriminates.
elderly, and a female.
Oh, heck, and this female.
I'm just saying.
Come on, Lynda, you had to throw that female in there.
Black,
Okay.
poor, okay. All right. So you put in your 1,000.
Right, you put in your 1,000.
This is good.
You put in your 1,000. You say, oh my God, something came up emergency. I need $900.
Okay.
Well, they're not going to touch your 1,000. Your $1,000 is still going to be in there like nothing happened.
So you borrow.
And you're still getting, let's say, 4% interest on that money compound.
Oh my goodness.
And then you say, hey, I need $900.
Okay.
And the count system, the way it's set up, says, okay, if you got $1,000 in there, you need a 900.
Right.
That's okay. Keep your money here, and we will actually lend you the $900 and go take care of your bill. We don't care if you take that 900 and go to the casino, go trick with it, go whatever you want to do with it.
I'm gonna need you not to say that.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all, you know.
But so that hence using your money twice.
Yes.
So you're still gaining interest, compound interest
Yes.
on your 1,000.
Yes.
You borrowed your own money,
Yes.
thus your family bank.
Yes.
You did not drain the tank, so to speak.
Yes.
Amazing.
that-
305-825-1444.
And
I mean,
you know, we have to start learning about these strategies. Like I said, I didn't make this rule up. I'm on a hunt. Every day I'm on a hunt. I call it Easter egg hunting, okay? But it ain't Easter. I'm thinking about because thinking about it, they're always coming up with strategies. They always coming up with strategy. I'm going to say it again. Good, better, best. Never let them rest until your good become your better and your better become your best. You should always be saying, I know they doing something out there, I just don't know about it. But if you hanging around Bobo and Lily and Sammy, they don't know about this. So you can hang around them, but you got to say, listen, I got to go. I got to go watch the Understanding Money show.
Right.
Or I got to call the Henderson Financial Group. What number, Lynda?
305-825-1444. And I hear a lot of people saying, yet again, like we talked about, how come I never heard of this? And you're going to go ask a friend who's not rich and who's not doing any type of tax
And who has
strategy,
not demonstrated nothing.
and who hasn't demonstrated.
Your coworker.
Again, trust but verify. When it's legal, it's backed by an insurance company who, as Robert likes to say, have more money next to God.
Next to God, insurance companies have the most money. Y'all
These
think
are
banks
tax
have the most money?
strategies.
No, banks use your money to make money.
Yeah.
When you put your money in the bank gives you little or nothing because they feel you ain't got nowhere to go. Where else? You don't know nothing. So you just put it in the bank.
Right.
And then the bank takes and lend your money to the person in back of you in line for 18%, 29%. Give them a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America credit card at 18, 19, 20%. That is absolutely ludicrous.
Absolutely.
You're talking about pimp gang. That's legalized pimp gang. You know what I mean? But hey, we've been taught. This is the way we've been taught, Lynda.
Right.
We've been taught
really
this.
have.
And we think it's okay, you know, but no, you know deep down inside they doing something wrong. They're just not telling you about it. Your problem is you hanging around people who don't know nothing. And you getting advice from your coworkers and your friends telling you what to do. Don't ever get advice from somebody who not demonstrating prosperity. Right. And definitely don't get advice from anybody who's doing something illegal. Okay? Because they waiting for you. And this technology, just because you don't see the cameras, don't mean they don't see you. Everybody in jail didn't know that they was going to get caught. They thought they had a good plan. So just because you don't know something don't mean that it does not exist. Let me say it again. Just because you're not aware of something and you don't know something, don't think that's it.
Yeah.
The beauty of it, man, every time we learn something, you got to say to yourself, I didn't know that. That's evidence. There's a lot of other things that you don't know. You know, think about it.
I didn't know that. Let me look more into it. Let me follow up. Let me dig deeper. Let me learn about it. So we're telling you what we're doing, what we're experiencing. We like to talk about things that's real, recent, relevant, and right now. And this is one of them. So,
yes. Matter of fact, that made me think about the word of the day called adamantine. Adamantine.
Adamantine.
Adamantine, okay?
I like it.
And what that really means is being like unmoved, stuck in your ways, not evolving.
Oh.
Do you know anybody who's pretty much adamanted? That's what they are. They're stuck in their ways.
Can't tell them anything.
No, you can't tell them
That's
anything.
all I
Like,
know, and that's all it is.
I believe the world is flat, and the world is
That's it.
flat until that's it.
Yeah.
I see Michael Jenkins out there. Oh, I see Miss Preston out there too. Okay. I see Frank Kemp out there. I see you. Make sure y'all share what we're saying with your coworkers and your friends. Anybody that's on Facebook, share so we can keep this thing going. And we can help a lot of people because what we do is we get our blessings. The more that we serve you, the more blessed we are. And we have to serve you first before we can enrich ourselves. I want you to understand what I just said. Before we get rich, we have to enrich others. That's the way universal law works.
Absolutely.
You cannot try to get something from another. And that brings me to I get so many calls about this circle. This they call it this blessing circle, the wheel, Asu, Susu, whatever they want to call it, different names.
It's still around?
Oh yes, and it's really happening now, and people out here are really, jumping on it. And I get calls all the time. Robert, what do you think about it? Let me tell you something. Let me set it straight.
Okay.
There are people that have put $300, $400. They're getting back, $1,000, $1,500, $3,000. They're getting it back, and that's okay. And I never judge people, but I live based on, my life is based on principles. Two things I look at. I look at the scriptures. Okay, I always look at the scriptures. Always. Everything I do, I find it somewhere in the scriptures. That's one, the ancient books, the writings, okay? Mm-hmm. Two, the other part I look at to verify something, I look at nature. Now,
okay,
what does that have to do with this circle or whatever? Okay, you do have people that are benefiting. I just don't know. I just believe in sowing and reaping.
Okay.
I just believe in working hard and when you give and you receiving.
Okay.
I haven't seen
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. I have never seen something where you can give $400 or $500 and you're going to reap, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times that money every month and live happily ever after. I don't know anybody. I don't know Mr. Drysdale or Mr. Rothschild that has that building and has all this real estate. That's how he started. I don't know. I don't have any supporting data. Right. Remember I said, don't take advice from anyone if they're not demonstrating prosperity. Now, and I know there's a lot of people like want to get their hustle on.
Right.
And they want to get a quick fix.
Right.
Whether it's Forex, and that's network marketing. You get more people in it, more people. Right. But think about even the Forex. Think about this. What we do, we have to practice financial services every day.
Right.
We have to study, read. We have to take continuing educations in real estate. We got to take a test on that. A real estate license to renew that. Mm-hmm. We have to renew insurance license. Okay, we have to do all this. We have to renew Medicare. We have to know about Medicare. We have to know about Social Security. Okay, we have to, for being a certified financial planner. Let me tell you, that's the hardest. It's like being a Navy SEAL. That's the hardest test in the world to me. I put all the licenses together, and being a CFP is extremely. That's why it's only like 250 people of color that out of 80,000 people in the whole country that are certified financial planners. It's a tough test. It's like being a Navy SEAL. They try to kick you. They try to say, nah, this is too hard. We have to take continuing education studies for that also. And once you get your license every 2 years, not only you got to pay a lot of money, but you also got to pass another test. So my point is, I haven't seen anything, Lynda, that's easy and good.
Easy and good.
And profitable, that lasts a long time. I've never seen anything. That's a principle.
That's a very good point.
That's a principle. The people that make a lot of money, you're either doing what the rich man said. Like, to be the rich man, you're either doing something that the poor man wouldn't do,
absolutely, or
couldn't do. And oftentimes, think about how money works, you all. The people that's making a lot of money, it's rarity. If you're a heart surgeon, you're going to make more money than someone who sweep the floor. Why? Because it's tougher, it's harder being a heart surgeon than someone who's sweeping the floor. But with this, what is this, ASU or the circle world, the person that sweep the floor and the heart surgeon, both of them put in 500, they're getting the same thing. That's okay. I'm not saying it's a scam. Right.
We're not trying to,
I'm just saying, I've never seen it where you can get something that easy. That's all. And oftentimes, it spazzes out. It really does. And I started talking about the Forex. Forex is foreign currency. Do you know how many, other than the United States, do you actually know how many different currencies there are out there? You got to be up on all of that. Dude, first of all, find me somebody who you personally know, who is raised a family, who is living prosperous, who can talk to you and not trying to sell you. And you say, how did they make their money? Oh, they're a foreign currency exchange operator.
That's a whole nother profession. Exams, training, knowledge. You can't just join a group and become a currency trader.
Forex, you're gonna make a lot of money.
You're gonna make a lot,
it's the same thing what's happening right now with stock options.
Yeah.
I learned stock options over 30 years ago. when they first was teaching me stock options, they might as well have been speaking Greek. I didn't know what a put, a call, a straddle. That didn't make any sense because that wasn't in my world. I had to really, really study that. And then in order for me to explain it, I had to break it down and use metaphors in order to understand it. You know, put down, call up. If you want to buy a call, if you think the stocks are going up, you buy a call up. See? If you think the stock market is going down or stock is going down, buy a put. How? Put down. I had to use metaphors. Gotcha. I had to have a visual, to understand exactly. Other than that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But what I'm trying to say is that whatever you do, you got to become good at it. You got to become really, really good at it. So you trying to do something to make some money for a side hustle and you putting your money in and you want to get other people money? Come on. Really? Can you be a side hustle heart surgeon?
Nope.
Oh, I got a catering business. I got a car wash. I cut hair. And also, I do divorces, and I also,
you ever see
I'm
those
a heart
business
surgeon.
cards with so many professions?
Yeah, I don't deal with that.
Yeah, you don't.
No, jack of all trade, master of none. Right. So I understand during these times you guys trying to get your hustle on. I'm just saying be careful. I'm not saying that no one who you know, because they're going to tell you, girl, I put in $400 and I got $1,500. They're going to tell you that.
We're not saying they're not telling the truth.
That's right.
But don't look for it to last
be everlasting.
Long. Right.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. Don't go out and buy a house. You can't qualify based on the circle. You can't qualify. I just want you to know that, all right? Okay. All right. So we talked about, we did a recap on Your Family Bank.
We did.
Now, let me tell you something. I gave you an example how you put money in it, and if you, instead of draining your tank using your money, you borrow, you use other people's money. The insurance company will actually, you don't have to have credit. You don't need a job. You just need some money to start off with, okay?
Okay.
And while you have your money in there, it will compound, it will grow, plus it gives you protection because it's an insurance company, all right?
Okay.
Secondly, the more money you put into this bank, your savings account, the more it grows, the more it compounds. But now you can pay off your car. You can pay off your home. We paid off student loans. You can use other people's money just like banks use your money 10 times. Or they use it 10 times. You bring $10,000 in there, the next day the system says they can use it, act like you bought in 100,000. Can you believe that?
I do.
So
I can.
This law has been around a long time. Just because you don't know it don't mean it doesn't exist. There's so many things that you don't know. Okay?
But we're here to share 305-825-1444. So another thing I wanted to talk about, Robert, and that's real, recent, relevant, and right now. A lot of professions, namely teachers, as they should be planning their lessons. They should be planning going back to school. They should be picking up school supplies. But instead, a record number of teachers are planning their wills and trusts, hopefully just trusts. A record number of teachers, stats show, are really beating the doors down of estate planners because the ones that are forced to go back into the classroom, they're scared. They're concerned. Again, I came on with a mask on. I lost someone this week. In Florida, I think our governor has taken a position of opening up the schools. So instead of planning lesson plans, Robert, they're planning their wills and trusts.
Why? Because they feel that they go back to school, there's a possibility that they could probably catch COVID and die?
Possible, probable, and I'm scared to say likely. I mean, our numbers, we are ground zero. We are the epicenter of it, and it's very scary. And they're literally planning because they don't, and they need to go back to work because they have to feed their families. There's a run through the federal prison system. They have to go to work. The people that guard the criminals, it's rampant through. And I have a sister that's a correctional officer, and it almost feels creepy to say all of those professions, you got to go get your trust in order. I don't even feel comfortable saying that.
Why?
But it's true because it's almost saying you're going into this ugly situation of a pandemic that's killing people. Girl, you better go get your trust. That's it saddens me to say
but
that.
It's reality.
But it's reality.
It really is. I mean, I mean,
we shouldn't say don't plan your lesson plan, teachers, go get your trust.
Well, let's say it right here on
my
Facebook
goodness.
Live.
I
Let's
feel
say it right
awful.
here. Let's say it right here on Facebook Live. If you're a teacher and you're concerned about going back into the classroom, especially if you're single, okay?
Oh.
Then you need to, and especially if you own property,
Have health issues.
you need
Come on.
to give us a call. We can tell you exactly who to go to
That's
get
not
your
a way
living
I
trust.
want to get business. Give
Excuse
us a
me?
call because you're going into
said-
a pandemic.
You said that's not a way you want to get business? They don't have to call. Some of them not gonna call.
No, we want you to call.
Right.
I just say that
But you got to plan.
we got to be realistic, and what we talk about is real stuff here.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
And you just came up with, you just
I
talked about
did.
something
I
real,
did.
and we all know that you know
We can't ignore it.
we're at a
Robert.
pivotal point right
Yeah.
now, whether teachers are going to go back to school or not. And we know that everybody if they do open schools, you know everybody's not going to come out squeaky clean.
Absolutely.
They're going to try. Some
Absolutely.
people are going to make their transition. Okay, so what we're saying is, I want you to do a financial checkup, because we're living in times you need to actually do a self-examination financially. Okay, so, and you don't want to be a burden to someone else.
Yeah.
So especially if you're single, okay, and then you have property. What I mean by, I don't care if the house not paid off. If you have property that, in order for it to change hands, you have to sign and need your signature, then I want you to look at doing a living trust. Now, I don't want you to just go to anyone, any lawyer, because when Lynda said that, she's not the only person that knows that. Other lawyers hear that, and a lot of them thinking about cha-ching, cha-ching,
Right.
and they're gonna really charge you a lot of money. Anytime you go to a lawyer to do a living trust, if they're trying to charge you upwards of $2,000, $3,000 and up, run. Because think about it, everything right now is we use it on computers. Okay, it's boilerplate. It's a program. Most of the time, they just plug in your name and numbers and change and just tweaking that software. Software that they actually put your name, your address, and your situation. They're not rewriting and writing word for word a whole trust for you, because it's software, computer software that they use. So if they tell you they're going to charge you $5,000, run. They're taking advantage of you. I'm telling you, you should be able to get a nice trust done, living trust, from anywhere from $800 to $1,500. Now, if you have a lot of property in different states, then it may cost you $2,000. Depends on how much work that has to be done. But before you go to an attorney and really don't know exactly what type of strategy and plan that you're going to have, you're going to waste a lot of time and waste a lot of his or her time, the attorney, thinking of an idea. So we have a booklet. We have a form that you can call our office. We'll give you that form, and you complete what you have, your assets, your liabilities. So by the time you go to the attorney, you don't have to waste time being billed at $500 an hour or $150 or $200, whatever they bill at, because you know most attorneys bill on billable hours. But you just want to cut to the chase and say, here, attorney, here's my stuff. I already know the name of my trust. My trust is Robert Henderson Family Living Trust. Okay, you don't have to sit there for 30 minutes going, oh, what should I name it? And you on the clock. Because like I said again, attorneys are about money. Not that they don't help you, but first of all, when they go to law school, they still paying for those student loans. They got to get that money back. And oftentimes they still have a lot of debt. So they have to charge you for their time and for their education. So to eliminate that when it comes to a living trust, give us a call, 305-825-1444. Call us on Monday. We'll email you the form free of charge. Yes, we will. And we'll help you complete it. And then we'll point you to an attorney who can really help you, who knows the facts. Now, some of y'all who do have living trust, I want you to be careful, because a lot of y'all like to do it yourself. Like y'all like to, do your own hair. I do it myself. I'm gonna create it myself. Those of you all who do your own hair yourself, we know it. It looks like it, right? We know you're not going to a beautician. We know you're not going to a barber. We can tell you do your own hair, okay? It's good to hire a professional that does this stuff, okay? It's very good to hire someone, this is all they do. Someone. Anytime I work with anyone, a plumber, an air conditioning repair guy, I'm not working with someone who does air conditioning business on the side. I'm working with someone who repairs air conditions full time. It's been doing it for a while. I deal with specialists. Same with the plumber, okay? So make sure when you do, those who do have a living trust, I want you to take a look at it. I want to make sure, because you could pay for a living trust and an attorney say, hey, I did a living trust for you. but they didn't transfer your assets inside of the living trust. That's big, Lynda.
That's everything.
People have come to our office and says, "Hey, Henderson, I already have a living trust." I said, "Okay, well, did you created a living trust, but did you transfer your assets in the name of the living trust?" They said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Okay, let me look at your mutual fund, your investment retirement account. Let me look at it. What is it, the name? What's the name on it? It has your name on it. It doesn't have Robert Henderson Family Living Trust. It doesn't have your living trust name on it.
So it's not in the trust.
It's not in the trust.
Right.
If you say that your lawyer charged you X amount of money and did a living trust for you, and you own some property, how you can tell whether it's been transferred properly is when tax time come, property taxes come up, and they'll send you notice. If the property tax notice come up in your personal name, it's not in the trust, because the property tax notice should come up in the name of your trust.
Okay.
You control the trust, but it should be out of your name, and it should be in the name of your trust.
Okay.
You're just the driver of the trust.
Okay.
Okay. So many people go get them, they do them, and they say and I'm gonna the same thing happens with an LLC. A lot of people say, "I'm gonna go to my accountant, or I'm gonna go to my lawyer to create an LLC." They create an LLC, but guess what? The property never was conveyed in the name of the property, didn't come out of your name and go into the LLC. It's still in your name. So you have an LLC, but when you look at the taxes, it's still in your personal name. Oh, no, no, no. You ain't did nothing but spent some money and got a piece of paper. It won't hold up in court. It really has to do what it says it's supposed to do, and you have to make sure that the transfer happened. But you don't know, because you do something. You know that's not your profession.
Right.
So therefore, you need to talk to someone who does this, and you need to be able to communicate it and say exactly what you want. Okay.
So again, it's not a pitch to get business. You know, teachers, oh my goodness, you're going back in a petri dish and you're going back, but it's real. And we can't ignore it. And it's so sad that you, instead of planning your lesson plan, a lot of our friends and clients are now going to make sure they have their end of life house in order. It's so sad, Robert.
That's not sad. It's pretty good. I mean, it's sad that this had to get
we're here. Is what
it's sad that it's it's an urgency. It's a sense of urgency. But this is something that we should do. People of color, man, we lose a lot of property, man.
We really do.
Through the court system,
really
through probate, because we don't have our state in order. I mean, we think if we're not rich, we just can have a will. But let me tell you something, man. Oftentimes, when Big Mama die and there's property taxes that are due, some of the children are not financially astute, or they don't have money, and they can't pay for it. So the property has to be sold. You follow me? I see Alma. I see Miss Duhat there. I see my son Robert III. Oh, how you doing? Make sure y'all share. Miss Blondette is there. Miss Redhead is there. I want y'all to share. A.B. Brown is there. What I want you all to do is share what we're talking about with your Facebook friends. That's how we build this up more. But the thing is that I really do want you to start really being proactive about your life. You only have one life. You can't go around putting your head in the sand like an ostrich. You know why an ostrich puts their head in the sand when danger is coming? Because they put their head in a hole, and they feel just because they can't see it, there's no danger, and their butt is sticking out. That's the ostrich thinking. You know what I mean? No, just because they dig a hole and put their head in that hole and the rest of their body is out, they think they're out of danger. No, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to hide. Be proactive.
Give us a call, 305-825-1444. Be proactive and plan for your older mom or dad or anybody that you love. I don't have children. I will get married again. Don't know the time, the place, or the person. And so I will have someone to take care of me. Still don't know who yet, but I'm sure I will. The point is, be proactive. Plan for that elderly person. Plan for, again, I'm sorry to say, but if you have to put yourself and you're an essential worker, this is real. And so we want to make sure you have everything in order. We're not saying something's going to happen. God willing, God will protect you. But we got to be real with you.
Yes.
This is not something we're going to pretend and be that ostrich that you talked about and put your head and your butt is out. Let's talk about it. Let's plan for it. Let's make sure we have everything in order.
Yes, Michael Jenkins, he's asked. He asked here, do you lose your homestead exemption if you take your name off your home? No. The courts, they know about living trust. As a matter of fact, they probably say, "Who told you?"
Yeah, my mom's house in a living trust.
Right. You don't lose your homestead exemption. You're still the owner. Remember now, when you create a living trust, you're still the owner, but it's just your living trust is the owner, and it's your primary residence, so you don't lose your homestead exemption. Your taxes will not go up. Okay, and that's a very, very good question. And I want you to know that I see Demetrius there. Thank you for, hey, we're going to keep it up, Demetrius. We're going to keep the good work up because this is in us. We've been doing this over 30 years. It's all we know. We're not doing this just to try to sell a product. We're doing this because, I wrote a book back in 2002 called The New Underground Railroad, Breaking the Chains, Economic Bondage. And I really feel in my heart, I mean, when I grew up, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I mean, I had to work hard. My mother told me basically, hey, Junior, I ain't got no money. Don't go out there and get arrested and do anything that's caused you to go to jail because I can't deal with them people. And I knew because my mother was working 3 jobs. And I believed my mother, And so I set a life out to be straight and narrow. Nobody's perfect. But I didn't want to get on drugs. I didn't want to sell drugs. I didn't want to deal with the popo. And I just didn't want to have somebody, guiding me and telling me you can and you cannot do. So I ventured out to learn and study money, how it works, how the world of money works. And I've been doing that for a long time, and it has really served me well. But I found out that until I help you and serve others, and the more I served others and helped others, the richer I got. Another thing that I found out, the more I read and I found out and I became knowledgeable, the richer I got. It works for everybody. The more knowledge you get, the more it enhances your life. So all of us should always constantly be open mind, ready and perceptive to receive
so
that
which
is good.
You didn't get it from the ASUS.
No.
Blessed Circle. You actually had to read and apply yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
That's something that we have to continuously do. 305-825-1444. I read somewhere, Robert, that the new slave is not shackled by chains, but by debt.
Mental. And because by debt, by debt and opportunity.
Yeah.
And lack of I would say resources. Because, some people think that we're just crazy about money. Let me tell you what money does for us. Money gives us more options. It gives us more options. The more money I make, the better I even eat. Now, I'm not talking about eating at the Chateau Inn because I don't believe in paying people $200 and $300 for a steak or fish or whatever. I don't believe that. I just don't. That don't sit well with me. Going to the high priced restaurants where dinner for 2 is $500, $600. My daughter said, speak for myself. My daughter Icy, she's looking at me like, I don't believe in that because it all goes down the same way and it comes out the same way. So I'm a simple type person and people will call me frugal, but I work too hard for my money to actually go and, pay $200 for a meal. I just don't. It doesn't make me feel good. It does not make. Now, if a meal costs $200, but I'm getting it for $20, I feel really good. That's why when you go to South Africa, that's what happens. It's very cheap over there. Okay, but I started saying that my New Underground Railroad book, Breaking the Chain, Economic Bondage, as a matter of fact, you can get a copy of the audio CD on our website. I mean, it's fantastic. It talks about stocks, bonds, even talks about stock options. And I wrote that in 2002. We're coming out with a part 2, a second edition of that. We're working on it right now. Oh, my God, that's going to be real, real good. And also, you can look at our website, and we have something called Black Folks and Money. Those are a series of writings that I did back in 2004, 2003.
So relevant right now.
Like
it's amazing how we can apply it to 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's 25 or 27 chapters. It's audio. So you go to our website, and I want you to look at that, download it, and get a copy of it. You would absolutely love. It's so relevant to what we're talking
Really
about
is.
right now. You know,
really is.
you know, I've often talked about, and it means something so dear to me that, you know, I didn't make myself. I was born into this world in the skin I am.
Okay.
I really love the skin I am because first, and I really love the skin I am because first, the way I see things, and everything's about perception, is think about it. If the skin that I'm in is the most hated around the world, the most mistreated around the world. So that really makes me feel, if you ain't nothing, nobody ain't trying to hold you back. But if you something, man, you're going to get trials and tribulations. So the skin I am, the skin that I'm in,
Right.
woo, boy, we must be some powerful beings
To put that much energy into
to stopping
trying
us,
to stop,
stopping us from reading, to discriminate against us,
incarcerate us.
to not even the playing field when it's against us. They must know. Somebody must say, don't let
Not
them
own capital
people.
to us.
Oh man,
Yeah.
don't let them get some knowledge. Oh my God, they must. The system must says, whatever you do, stop them, because when they get it, oh my God, you know. So think about that. All right, who you are. But you really. I'm saying that because I want each and every one of us to count. That's my point. All of us count. And I like inside of one of my chapters, I say how this Jewish guy, very rich, he had told me back in 1980s, he's Robert, this difference between the 6 million Jews in this country, and it was at the time it was 30 million blacks, is that all of us, all the Jews count, all the blacks don't. And it wasn't racist. You know, let me tell you something. That whole philosophy of loving each other, of sharing with each other, how everybody individually should work on themselves and not worry about the neighbors in terms of what they have. You're supposed to work on your own financial planning,
Right.
your goals.
Right.
And if I become rich, Lynda, you and I can do a deal together, because you have to become rich too. I don't care if you're a barber, I don't care if you're a doctor, I don't care if you're an athlete, whatever. But when individual people, when we're accountable, when we're something, then we can get together collectively and become a we. It's very hard to do something by yourself. You don't want to be an exceptional member to a losing team. That's one of my chapters too.
Love it. And I remember you talking about that years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the only one. That makes, to be the only one is a sad state. Matter of fact, that's not innate. That doesn't go with my thinking in terms of nature. Can you imagine being the only orange on a big tree? And you're saying, hey, some of y'all may feel like, hey, look, I'm on this big tree and I'm the only orange. No, that's not a healthy tree.
There's no fun in that.
A healthy
There's no
tree is
joy in
when
that.
the whole tree is full of oranges. So whatever you have, when you get this information that we're giving you, I want you to share it. Share it, because somebody needs the information, you know?
Click share on that Facebook page. Share the knowledge. Give us a call. We can do it by Zoom. Consultation free. We'll give them, 45 minutes, an hour, something like that?
As long as it takes,
As
yeah.
long as it takes. 305-825-1444. Again, we are the Henderson Financial Group. We are a full service financial planning firm. This is not a moment for us. It's a movement. And we really want to share every single thing that we know. And we got to keep saying, just because you never heard of it does not mean it doesn't exist. It does.
And definitely call us about that getting out of debt or eliminating debt. Don't take your money and pay off your debt, because then you don't have any money. Use other people's money. We're going to show you how to do that, okay? So give us a call on Monday, and we'll show you exactly how to get out of debt and build wealth simultaneously with the same dollar. So, hey, man, we love you. Same time, same station. We definitely.
Wear your mask, please. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you very much.